45. We are at the finish line of phase 3. We're going to be going back, making sure that we've got everything done that we intended to set out to do. There was a lot that went into this, all for player experience and actual things to do in the game, you know? We did some core mechanics. We did some leveling stuff. We flushed out the skills a bit. Now with phase 3 pretty much at the end, we're going to go back, make sure that we covered everything that we intended to cover, and then we're going to do some cleanup of the code base. We're going to actually go through, look at some of the files, see what needs to be cleaned up, what's sort of okay, and get everything ready to start for phase 4, which will be tomorrow, or even at the end of today we might take a look at. So with that being said, I'm going to get rid of my text on the screen, pop up the game, and we can take a quick look at one of the other things that I did. I have a little bit of a surprise in store for this. Actually, I do need to make sure that I actually pull up my chats because things have gotten a little messy since I added YouTube. And I want to be able to make sure that I'm getting all of the different chats because I still don't have confirmation that that is actually the case. So now that I've done that, I'm going to be popping this overlay off. Well, technically the drawing off. And we are going to start up the server, start up the client, and as soon as this loads, I have something that I need to show off now. Where are we at? All right, are you ready? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam! We have shitty sprites. Well, some shitty sprites. We have some basic grass, and then I went through and actually did something for each of the nodes. So we've got a small herb, we've got a large tree. I really did just keep things simple, you know, like rectangles, circles, straight lines over top of them, repeated patterns, you know, just very basic stuff. There's a little cactus sort of for herbs. We've got our... See, everything seems so small and far away still. And we've got a birch tree for wood. So, one other thing I should show off as well. There was one other sprite that I added, but I've got to run all the way through the zone to get to it. Just keep running. I'm going to pull up a couple of other... Oh, I'm stuck on the tree. Keep running, keep running. Just gotta make it all the way through here and over to the rocks. And we have an ore node. Where is it? Where is it? It's right about there. We go. So, really, I didn't do too much. I just put in some very basic sprites last night while I was puttering around and doing some stuff. Well, really, I was trying to edit down some of the stream recordings, and I went, you know, I feel like I could add some sprites right now. So I did. I went and made some very basic sprites, but that is not the focus for today. The focus for today is going to be to check. Well, we're going to be able to play a bit, but I'm going to send Claude. Every phase document has been covered or has been visited now with an implementation from T1 to T11. Review the implementation plan as well as the specific phase plans. Update the implementation or produce a implementation results. Do I want result? Do I want a implementation review doc which highlights any things that have not been covered and still need to be implemented for the tertiary implementation to be considered complete. So basically right now we're gonna use the AI to do a little bit of analysis on our documentation and on our code base to figure out what we have or have not implemented from our plan. We set up the plan at the start, then we went through and we started updating them. We had some additional stuff that we covered. I think there's a couple of things that might have been deferred, but we need to either make notes of these for a future phase or we need to implement them now. So this is going to be a little bit of cleanup here. Then if everything looks good and we're good with the amount of stuff that has actually been implemented and covered, we're going to go take a look at the actual code base right now and sort of skip through that a little bit to make sure that I'm happy, or to make sure that what is actually there is, hey, see, look, I even have the a stump. But yeah, we're going to make sure that what's there is following the standards that I like. It looks like how I want things to be organized and sorted. And what was that? That was a weird one. Oh, right. I don't think I've shown off what the herb looks like when it's depleted. So we'll see. I'm not very happy with a lot of it. Like I said, they were just very quick sprites. I think I spent maybe 30 minutes going through them. But the issue that I actually have is they're a little difficult to see on the grass. No, you know, once I added the yellow flowers, it's fine, I guess. It really doesn't look like much though, so it's something I'm gonna have to go back to. I'm really not happy with the grass. I'm never good at doing this sort of tiled pattern. Everything kind of ends up blending into it. I tried going through and making a color palette for things as well. Anyways, let's go hop in on the boss as well. Nothing really changed over here either, though. But I'm just sort of going through the zones and be like, hey, look, this is what each of these zones look like now with the new grass. So all right. Now we've got one more zone to go check out. It won't matter if I actually die or not. I would prefer not to go and die to the chupacabras, but I still want to go show off what the cave looks like down there because it's got all of the ore and it's still filled with grass, even though it really should be filled with dirt. But you know how it is. See, the ore looks very strange in this area. I don't hate it, but these are all definitely very placeholdery. I did not do anything that requires any animation. Everything is just static. We are almost at the cave. Here we go. Ah, look at all the chupacabras. They're everywhere. Quite a bit of ore down here, though. They look kind of strange seeing them just there. So I'm not super happy with them. They'll need to be readdressed, but that's something we can come back to anytime. I just got sick of seeing all of the squares for everything, and I wanted to see what it would look like with a little bit of I also did add, or not add, but I also kept a sort of border on, like solid border on the tile, so you can actually see that it's kind of tiled, because it was just repeated pattern. So I went, well, I might as well make it look tiled at least. I also do not think that these are the types of herbs that I wanted. I was just going to make them a circle, and then I put some flowers on it, and I was like, it kind of looks like a cactus. So then I threw a little bit more flowers coming off of it. Similar to what I did with the tree, where it's just like, all right, we're just going to do like a circle. We're just going to do repeating patterns, and then we're going to do a circle. And it's like, it kind of looks weird floating. So I threw a couple more circles on it, and then it's tree adjacent, so. It is nice to see how the sprites actually sort of change a little bit with the color hue that's applied to each of the different zones and subzones. I'm gonna head back to the main village so that I can get a pickaxe and so that I can cut down the big tree. Yeah, I didn't add any other sprites. You've seen all of the ones that exist now. Well, technically you haven't seen the depleted ore yet, but that's what I gotta go get the pickaxe for. I also gotta fix this movement bug when I start collecting. Quite annoying. I don't remember what the crude dagger sells for either. Maybe it would have looked better if I got rid of the border on the big circle. I mean, it would still look weird for a tree. Alright. Broken down to a stump. We've got plenty of wood and stuff to sell now, so we can get a pickaxe without having to sell the crystal, just in case I want to use it for... Get the pickaxe, get some water. Oh yeah, how much do daggers sell for? So I have 13. Okay, they sell for 3. Anyways, we now have our document for sort of what was covered. Before I head over to the actual document, I'm going to take a look at the quick summary that Claude has given us here. So the implementation review is written. Here's the headlines. T2, 7, and 8 are clean, no gaps. T3 is complete with 1 art blocking item. Layered sprite visual overflow that unblocks only when canopy size art is authored. T4 is the biggest remaining work. Drop tables, base XP on mob JSON files, shades. Chupacabra stubs, configures, Deerfleet AI verification are all untouched. Those aren't really... Those are things that are going to get built out. We do have a baseline for them. We haven't gone through and flushed out exactly what we want them to drop, but they all exist in where they should be. T6, 9, 10, and 11 are substantially done. Despite their phase docs saying not started, they all need focused verification phases or passes and specific gaps filled. Gather XP on node configs, root burn modifier verification, shop bank functional verification against specs, T11 trade-off preview UI. T1 has 3 bugs left: WASD, Moonwalk, Desync, Server Connection, Rate Limit Bug, 3B, and Equilibrium Lock that follows from both. I'm pretty sure we actually updated those. I'm pretty sure those are what I had tinkered on during some of the things that I was fixing. They're mostly fixed for now, so not too much of an issue. T5 has 1 confirmed bug: overflow stacking in general slots. The doc ends with prioritized table. So we're just going to go through the doc quickly. We're going to see what it says there. If it gives us any more details, we're going to mark things as completed or actually needing to be addressed. Movement sync bugs implemented. Bugs 1, right click teleport, correction, accumulation, newest only, delta correct 5, escape, ability cancel without stop event. Remaining gaps: moonwalk partially fixed, server side correction rate limit not implemented, add correction cooldown tick into player session, emit delta correct at most once per 6 ticks per player. This gives the client a full correction cycle to settle before the next one fires, eliminating the cascade of WASD correction equilibrium lock. I want to address that one. That one actually does sound like a good idea. Bug 6, WASD correction equilibrium lock, falls directly from bug 2 and 3B. Applying both fixes is expected to resolve it. Notes: bug 2 is notes. Bug 2 fixed. Bug 3 to address. Cursor aiming fully done. Atlas pipeline completed. Generated sprite. Remaining gap 3B. Layered sprites with non-blocking visual overflow. The row schema extension and associated render math for canopy overhangs are not implemented. This is only needed when authored art with large visual footprint. Canopies extending well beyond the blocking footprint is placed in the game. I'm pretty sure this was sort of addressed. T3 mob drop tables, stat config verification. Drops and stats to be adjusted later for balancing and testing purposes. All implementations are in place now. So those aren't really things that we're too worried about. We just need to make sure that we come back to them. Inventory overhaul complete. Remaining gap, resource overflow. Notes: this was fixed with bank storage implementation. Total XP, so XP and leveling. We're going to focus more on the remaining gaps than anything in this document, because that's all I really care about at this time, is what did or what didn't get implemented. What do I need to make sure that I carry over or come back to? Gather XP on node configs. T6 spec requires each resource node config or to have gather XP field. Verify these fields exist. Okay, don't worry about that. Base XP on mob data files. These are there and we'll come back to. Skill unlock UI. Okay, that's one that we actually do need to come back to at some point. We might do that in the next phase, but we will be coming back to that. Yeah, I think I'll bake that into the next phase ideation as well. Skill UI. Add additional skills: fishing, cooking, bravery, and piety. So we will come back to that one. Level up stat restoration verification. Notes: XP ones are related to balancing for later phases. Skill unlock UI. Move to next set of phases, or next set of updates, and level up works. I should say level up stat restoration works. Death and respawn complete, player gear complete, extend abilities and options menus mostly done, remaining gaps. Invincibility frames for roll. The T9 spec invincible modifier is applied for the roll duration, so the player takes no damage while rolling. I'm pretty sure that's fine. Root modifier for sweep has start a burn chain, apply burn dot on hit with a chance to propagate to nearby targets. Verify burn exists. HUD unified strip specifies all T6 abilities should be rendered as a single unified strip. Okay. Notes to add. Or notes. Burn chain needs fixes to apply off of other abilities. All other mentioned above working. Then shop and player storage mostly done. Client shop. However, the phase dock status was not started. Config files, economy helpers, buyback tab, bank storage, persistence, material stocking in general store during bank interaction. Notes. Configs in place. Gold stacking fixed. Buyback fix. Persistence next phase. Interface panels need to be forcibly closed if the player is too far away. Basic ability modifications, remaining gaps. There's going to be a lot of remaining gaps for the ability modifications. That's fine because we're going to be coming back to this and iterating on it a lot in the future. Crystal item boss drops on ground apply. Crystal return to inventory on removal. Era reset. Preservation. Force mana cooldowns. Deltas. Applied on all combat paths. Effective stats sent to the client. Charge bar. Sweet spot. Reflex modifier. Instant cast melee. Sweep converts to charge. Remaining gaps. Staged confirm flow. T11 describes deliberate two-step UX of the player stage crystals. In the panel, sees a trade-off preview and clicks modify. Applies the crystal immediately on click. Okay, this is fine for now. Trade-off preview. Enhance placeholder button. Drag in drag. Extended a drag step. The spec says if drag is placed within a drag, it should extend the drag step. The current implementation bumps the click waypoint out of the drag, but does not handle the case where the drag waypoint is spliced mid-drag. The fix is splice waypoints when waypoint type is drag. Okay, so this is something we'll come back to. This is fine. This is all stuff that we're going to iterate on, and just we need to get a lot of stuff in and just sort of outlined, and to the point where we can sort of tinker on one part or another and make targeted changes and figure out how things feel. And we need a baseline. We have our baseline. We'll come back to improve it later, basically. 2 crystal intersperse test. Notes. All of these for future phases. Let's cover the initial implementation and made sure the concept works. Cross-phase fixes, examine test for all 15 configs. Sell price on crystal. Shades and Chupacabra mob types reference T4 but also affect T5. T6 no XP awarded. T7 death event handling resolving. T4 also unlocks these. Level gated gear for T8. Notes. Future examined will be updated periodically. Sell price fix. All mobs have drop/XP now. And level gated here for later phases as well. Alright, so there's two things that I want to make sure they get addressed. I've reviewed the document and left many notes. There are two things I need addressed before this phase closes. Everything else is for future tasks. So, 1. Fix bug 3B. Server side connection rate limit. The other one is that 2 interface panels shop/bank need to close automatically when player moves too far away. Oh, wait, no, I didn't die. Okay. Whew. Oh, I heard a thing and I don't see it anywhere. This is exactly the problem I was talking about. Thank you for whatever just happened. I have no clue what it was, though. All right, well, while those are going... Hey, Carlos. This is a thing I'm building. This is my current prot. I don't know what you're talking about. Who? What? Sorry, natural habit. Yeah, this is the thing I'm building. Right now I have most of the combat in. Well, initial parts of the combat. Initial test world. Little bit of trading, little bit of storage. Bit of a boss implemented as well. The boss is kind of really pathetic. It doesn't really do damage or much at all. How do I... There we go. Got some healing items. I'll go run over to the boss while things are changing, or while notes are being made. Running all the way across the map. But yeah, this is basically a project that I've been planning for... I hate to say that it's decades at this point, because it was since I was in high school. And I'm finally at a point where it makes sense to actually work on it, start it, and actually be able to complete it, ideally. So I've been working on this for a month and a bit now. Month and a half, basically. And it's probably going to take me probably a year or two before it's in a really good state. But progressing really nicely. How much mana do... Oh, I somehow failed to cast it? Oh, well. That was a bug. I don't know what, though. There we go. Beat the boss. So the cool thing is you'll see here, there's a bit of stats that are given for the boss fight, including the time that it took to fight it, or the time that it took to kill it, the damage that it took, and how its abilities went. Then you'll see that it buffed itself with a couple of different things. It got an HP buff, it got a cooldown reduction buff, and it got a cast time reduction buff. And that's one of the big things that I really wanted to get added. Ideally, it wouldn't be on every fight. It would be on, hey, 100 people fought this boss. It learned from the average, so now the average strategy is more weak, and the strategies that aren't average are stronger. And it'll be a bit of a smarter way of going about it. I don't know why I'm walking over here. This is not the way back to the village. Oh yeah, I can also use these crystals to modify my spells. So now I have very strong spells because these crystals are extremely overpowered. Hey, why didn't it add the modifier on it? Alien Punk, thank you for the primer. Thank you very much. I think I should be able to kill the boss here really fast. Actually, I think the fastest way would be... Actually, no, I will leave it on there. So you'll see now there's an extra click that I have to do to cast the spell. But it also does well over 100 damage now. Come on, give me the mana to cast the spell again. Fine. Alright, that took 20 seconds. And I have another OP crystal. Let's go! I'm super buff. Thank you. I think the changes got made, so I've got to close this, reopen it, and make sure that it works. Yeah, the one downside right now is I haven't actually made it so that anything saves long term yet. So every time I open it up, I've got a brand new character. I've lost all my stuff. What was it that I was trying to test here? Server connection rate limits. So basically I just need to make sure that everything's still working fine. Yeah, I'm not getting stuck on anything, which is good. And then this should close if I walk too far away. Yep. And then as long as it works again on the... Yep, okay. I'm happy with that, which means I can mark the document as completed. Where's my game? There it is. Notes bug 2 fixed, bug 3 to address. So these are fixed, I think. And then the other one was down here. Fixed. Okay, so that's covered. Verify phase 3 implemented completely. So now I'm gonna do a... Okay, I'm pretty sure this is from the secondary implementation. So I'm gonna move those into there. And then I'm going to create my new notes, or my new refactor. I think it should probably be done. Refactor notes .md. Anyways, now it's time to actually go through a lot of the actual... Okay, I don't need to go through the data files. I do need to... Well, I don't need to go through the design files. Those are going to have to get updated. I need to go through the client files real quick. I'm just looking at sort of the shape of them, the amount of stuff covered in them. If there's any really long functions, I've audited this one a few times and I have no problems with it. Basically, what I'm looking for is anything that stands out to me that's going to cause issues in the future of either wasting a bunch of resources or that I just wouldn't want to touch if I have to go in and make manual edits. Load atlas. Fine. Send drop items. Okay, these are a lot of the very basic functions. This is getting quite long for a file, so I'm gonna want to... Where's the copy path? Alright. File getting too long. Look at breaking it apart into multiple files grouped by functionalities. By functionalities. There we go. So that's client. Context menu is more or less fine. Death is very short, succinct. Dialogue. This is deprecated, but I'm fine with that. I don't think that'll actually cause any problems. Equipment is... I don't know how I feel about equipment having its own draw option on it. I feel like this might need to be moved out into render. Let's make a note of this. Copy path. Investigate moving the draw method out into render, or if it is required here. Either work. Options, just exploring. So that's equipment. That's one thing we might want to move. Then input is a lot of different things. I don't think there's any benefit to actually breaking this apart and checking separately. I think just going through all of them is fine. I don't have any reason to suspect that it would be more efficient to do otherwise. Although now I can see a case statement down there, which is... Oh, whoops. Copy path. So this is item sprite frame. Item sprite frame. Primary goal. Simplification and optimizations. Convert case switch statements to not dictionary, to map retrievals. So that we don't excessively check base state. One simplifies code to so that there we go. So inventory for item sprite frame. Convert from case statement to map of what? Map of string to int. String to int. Okay, so that's one thing for that. Slot color for type could be converted to a map as well, but I don't really care for converting a 4 map. It's more so because this one's like 20 long now. Mini map is, I know we have to return and review this one, but I don't think that I have to worry about it at the moment either, because I do want to make sure that that mobs show up on it eventually. Modify panel is more or less fine. Network shouldn't have really been changed too much other than for some of the movement stuff, and I already reviewed all that. That should be fine. Options. Yeah, this is... Okay, and projectile render HUD. First off, this is 500 line. Is this just one massive 310? Yeah, render HUD needs some love for getting the function, or isolating the functions out. Logic is currently a massive 200 plus line function. This needs to simplify. For traceability purposes, targeted changes. Basically, this is just too much happening in a single function, and even though it's labeled for what's happening where, these need to be just broken out into their own functionalities. It'll be much easier to work with in the future if I have to target any specific changes. These are kind of hard-coded. I don't know. I think I'll make a note for the next one to break these skills out of render stats panel. Load skill entries from configs for render stats panel. In render HUD, break skills into their own configuration files. So I'll break those out of there, but that'll be a next time. That's not actually a refactor thing for right now. Render QuickTime is going to be a mess. I don't want to deal too much with this one right now. Okay, this is render QuickTime Legacy, which matters even less. Okay, so render QuickTime Trace. Definitely needs some love. Needs some love. The function is one block. Subsets out to helper functions. Okay, so that'll clean that up a nice bit. Render world. Render world is probably going to be a... Actually, it's not that much of a... Oh, no. Oh, there's most of the sorting functions. Player ID, node IDs. I feel like these can be simplified a bit, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Render world, render portals, render effects, render channels, render projectiles, render one okay, this does have a lot of its functionality broken down. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This is just going to end up being a longer file. Maybe we'll break that down further into like render mobs, render world later, but it's not something we need to address at the moment. So render, it's a lot of different things. Ah, yes, it's done this again. Copy path. And then breaking render standards, bring them back into alignment. For the following. There we go. So render, need to bring that back into alignment with how it's supposed to work. Shop is looking actually quite nice. Oh. Case shop tab buyback. Case. Shop draw needs simplified case statements. Draw needs simplified case statements. Just move the indentations to helper methods to enhance readability. So that'll take care of that. That should move all of this junk out of there just so that it'll be easier to keep track of what's specifically being done. Sync is probably going to be a mess, right? Well, I say it's going to be a mess. It's a very long file. Sync network is a huge ass case statement. Oh my god. Stress that sync network is just one massive case statement. The functions, ideally, and consider utilization of a map if it would actually be an optimization in this case. Every situation with the map needs to be analyzed for if. Oh, wait, not with a map, with a case statement set, or set of case statements. A set of case statements needs to be analyzed for if converting to using a map would be optimization or detriment. Oh, that's someone that gets a free ban. Let's go. That's my favorite time of day. Okay, so make sure that I've noted that as well, because sync is just one massive case statement. and apply delta correct, has delta zone, handles delta train. The rest of this is actually fairly fine. It's just that one absolutely massive case statement is going to drive me insane. Text tick. Oh, whole input. Yeah, this is too much if else. And case statement. Oh my. Yeah, this one needs help. Address the massive number of nested if else and case statements. Clean up this file and optimize these checks. That's nasty. Oh, it's case statements with if statements. Oh. Fine. Update QuickTime trace. That's more or less fine. Yeah, this one's actually fine. It's getting a little spooky on the first part of it, but it's not actually bad yet. Not actually bad. Tick world. Tick world is broken into its parts, but these functions haven't actually been isolated at all. Tick world, or is it tick world capitalized? Yeah, tick world has nicely isolated logic, but the logic should be moved out of the specific, or out of the function to keep them actually isolated and improve readability. Only do so if this will have non-detrimental performance effects. I'm not actually sure if moving these parts out into their own functions would notably cause any slowing down when done at scale. And then world, I'm already saying is going to be fine. Okay, so that's client. Client's looking fine. Configs should be fine. So, game is the next section we're going through. These are fine. These are still very clean from before. Still very clean. Still very clean. Looks great to look through each of these. Oh, I'm pretty sure this is just, there's a lot of, actually it's not even that much. It's just more compared to others. Config modifier is fine. Config NPC is fine. Zones is more or less, we're good. Man, this is going to be a lot of, yeah, we're good, we're fine. Keep going, we're good. Here. Oh wait, no, this is load all configs. This happens at the start. We have to do this anyways. There's no real way to get around that. None of these have been touched at all in economy. Entity is still going to be very similar. These are just the error record. Yeah, it hasn't really been touched. Item hasn't been touched. issues in the slightest for any of these. Which I feel like is going to be the case for most of these. Most of these are from old phases. So, oh, this is the allocate points. Yeah, that's going to be taken care of in the future, but it's going to still kind of remain there because someone, or if it needs a fallback, it basically just falls back to, yeah, this will work in a pinch. Context, entity collision. As much as I would love to refactor and optimize the entity collision, it will give me an aneurysm if I touch this again. Like I've struggled with it so much. Mob AI really hasn't changed. Neither should mob combat have. Mob nav is looking fine. Projectile. I don't know why I'm even scrolling through this one. Same with status effects are. I feel like some of these checks could be moved out, but I don't think they would actually be repurposed if they got moved out. Oh, player ability. I think I leave this as it is for now. It's on the edge of needing attention, but we're going to have to come back to this as we iterate on the quick time. So I know we'll be revisiting this in the future. This isn't something that'll get left alone and sort of rot in the code base. So with that having been the case, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine to stay as it is. We'll have to sort of splice and dice, and we'll make an entire plan for addressing that one anyways, but it's not worth touching in our general purpose refactors. QuickTime type shared. Wire is the one. Ilyasta, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. This is the one I was looking forward to getting to. In the wire, copy path. Reduce case switch statements. This should be able to be simplified with a map. Verify that this will be an optimization. Should be an optimization. It's the one that I was really looking forward to because we have all of these deltas to string. We should be able to just set them up in a dictionary and have it calling that having it calling that instead of actual. I'm spacing out. Having it calling that instead of going through this entire massive switch statement. The map should be able to be remade and just call the entry, or just retrieve the entry. Correct entry. Set of case names using a pre-made map. Okay. So wire, this is the big one that I knew we were going to have to address. There's actually 2 spots in here, right? Both string large big things. And then our, oh, whoops, that's not where I needed to go. Back to the wire, and then boss is looking fine still. Constance is fine still. Arrow life cycle is fine. Arrow is fine. Events, heartbeat. This will probably come back to in the next phase if it actually does need any optimizations, because the next phase. Come on, Shax, you gotta be chitting me. That one's not even enabled anymore. But thank you. How are you doing today? Yes, I know it's chitin, but that's not the pun that it was for. Heartbeat. What was I just saying about? One of these we're coming back to. Oh, right. Heartbeat, we're gonna come back. Oh, actually, it won't be heartbeat that we come back to as we do the dev tools in the next phase, but it'll be good to keep in mind. Simulation. Oh, this is a test one. The actual simulation one. Pick players. I would love to optimize this down as well, or not optimize, but sort this out and clean it up a little bit, but I'm not sure how I would, unless I move all of the if zone okay stuff out. Yeah, not sure what I can do on simulation, so that one might just stay a little messy. A little messy. Seed player class. That's a temporary thing, right? I don't think... I don't think this is going to be around long term. I'm pretty sure this is something that's going to be removed in future iterations. Rebuild zones is used for the era resets. Okay. Then logging, path finding, persistence, and oh, we do need server. We do need to go through server. Server. Oh, server boss pipeline is that's fine. That's just logging. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Death drop resources. That's fine. That's mostly function definition or object definition. Struct definition? I forget what I was looking at already. It's mostly values that go into the struct. This one's probably fine to be a case statement. Interact. Handle gather node. Again, these are mostly the values that are used to set up structs. So I don't have a good reason to actually extrapolate those out to their own locations. Okay, this file is getting a bit long, but place in inventory. I feel like this is reused and could be reused on many different things, but I feel like it's already, yeah, it's already reused, so it's already its own thing. It's fine. It's fine. Modify. Modify is not in a bad spot, at least. Network. I don't want to mess around with the network part right now. It shouldn't have been touched for quite a while either. Server network specifically is something that we should come back to only once we're actually setting up a live IP to be able to access this via non-local runs. Shop. These are broken apart fairly decently. Yes, what a test. Kind of forgot about this. Pretty sure I can just delete this, but it'll stick around for a bit. Okay, tick case statements. We're gonna investigate if these case statements can be optimized with the use of, because that is where did it even go? Here we go. Because this is a lot of different case statements, and reading through this is kind of a pain in the ass for I'm pretty sure that can be moved for optimizing that. XP is fine. And then zones. Okay, I'm preemptively hoping that we can move these out of case statements. Oh, there's a lot of the stuff for collision again. Or it's not directly related to the collision, but it allows the player to move between the zones, which is collision related, or at least caused collision related issues. All right, let's just take a look at this first. Default node examine, and default depleted exam. We'll just say the default examines might be able to be pre-optimized to reduce case statements, might be able to be optimized to reduce case statements and prepare for a lot more resources existing. Okay, so these are all my notes that I've made now for what needs to be updated, optimized, fixed, cleaned up, and just moved around. Normally what I would then do is if I'm making these changes manually, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna just start puttering away and updating them, moving them out, cleaning them up, etc. However, I now have this amazing tool, which I can instead say, I have audited the Go code base and produced a list of refactor nodes. I want you to audit the code base as well and produce your own list of refactor nodes. Then compare and contrast mine versus yours. Produce a fine. Write a file for this. Then produce a final refactor document, which outlines all of the different changes, updates, and trade-off. Changes and updates, which are proposed. Also include a list of trade-offs where they exist. So now I can send Mr. Claude off to go and figure out what it would refactor. Then it can take a look at what I would refactor, what it would refactor. It can compare them, give me its list, its comparison list, and sort of what the updates, what the benefits and pros and cons of each of them are. So then I'll be able to go through that and figure out, yes, I want this, no, I don't want this, etc. Okay. Back to playing the game. And once we have those, then we can basically hit the checkbox and be like, yep, this looks good, make the plan, go and update these. I should also back to the So for those who may have not seen, I have some placeholder sprites in that I spent maybe 30 minutes making last night with some repeating patterns. They're not great. They're not going to stick around. The grass drives me crazy, but at least I have a tiled grass. I think there's too much noise to the grass. I think that's my issue with it. Anyways, we're going to just stick around here. We're going to get enough to go buy a pickaxe. Then we'll go grab some ore as well. Just sort of show off things as they are. These changes and time where Claude's working is just a very good time to actually go and look at what we have currently. And just find bugs, things that need to be fixed, things I'm not happy with, things I am happy with, and all of those different areas that we've got to worry about. Look at that, we've even got a stump. There we go. I can speak. All right, Jack, I got some logs for you. I'll take a pickaxe and some water. I'll take a pickaxe and 1 water. I feel like I was walking into a tree for a moment there and then it moved? Did that happen or am I going crazy? No, I just saw the playback. It definitely snapped me back a good ways. That'll be something that we have to address with networking. I also would like to be able to click the top part of my nodes to be able to examine them rather than having to click the bottom part. It also takes quite a while to get Witchcraft to level 5 so that I can make the MP potions, but probably helps if I actually collect the herbs that I need for it. What level are we at? It's only level 1. Interesting song as well. What one is this? Loom? Alright. Anyways, I don't need to equip the pickaxe, but I'm going to equip the pickaxe anyways just because there's no reason. Okay, we have something. 3 files reproduced: my refactor audit, refactor plan, and refactor notes. Just don't want to mix those up. So I'm going to minimize this and we'll take a look at these. So Claude refactor audit. Independent raw audit, synthesized final document, and my original notes. So both audits flagged the same core issues: render HUD, render QuickTime needing extraction, sync network as a monolith, the tick input left click nesting items, sprite frame as string switch, the zones examine, default client file size and render go, breaking its own pattern. I mean, I don't know if it's just agreeing with stuff or not, but I do agree with those. Key divergences: your notes propose converting delta string type and action string type to maps as an optimization. Audit found that it's actually a regression. Go jump tables are faster than a map hashes for integer enums. The plan documents the correct alternative, an indexed array, which is both faster and more maintainable than either. Okay, that's perfect. This is why I was saying, like, I'm not sure if these are all optimizations for them. Things I found that aren't in your notes: handle inputs 18 repeated unmarshaled pattern, best fixed with a shared generic helper matching unmarshaled delta already in sync go. The mutex defer discipline inconsistency across server handlers. Lumberjack slots hard-coded array duplication, what the server already sends. This is exactly why I sent Claude to go and look at these, because it's going to notice these patterns a lot faster than I'm going to. I can spend hours combing through the code base, but I was just going over it to look for any glaring issues. File split, 5 distinct concerns, the broadcast positions, pre-allocation issues. So, if we look at the actual document that Claude wrote then, performance note on map for switch enums: before the per file list goes, compiler optimization switch on dense consecutive int iota values to a jump table. A map is also a 1, but involves a hash and a pointer dereference roughly 3 times slower than a jump table. Okay, that's why I was like, I know it'll at some point there's a different, or at some point it kind of works, but there's still a threshold for that trade-off. Converting delta type string or action type string to a map is a maintainability win, not a performance win. Any proposal to use a map for these must be justified on readability grounds only. For string key lookups, the picture is different. Switch on string is ON comparison. A map of string is O1. The map conversion genuinely improves performance. Yeah, like I said, there's some situations where it is more optimal and some where it's not, and it's one of those. I'm not gonna look too far into it because I was planning on doing this anyways, so it allows me to go a little bit faster. Wire, 2 large string switch statements, 48 cases and 23 cases, are both switch on int, not performance wins to convert. See note above. Maintainability argument still holds. The map requires 1 line per new type versus 2 lines in a switch. Could replace with an array indexed by iota value is faster than both switch and map and requires only 1 line per new entry. This is the right answer if we care about performance and maintainability. I like this. Server, tick, handle, input, repetitive, unmarshal pattern. 18 action cases with the same shape, unmarshal to log error to call handler. This produces 160 lines of boilerplate, a dispatch map approach. Each handler is registered as a handle input, becomes a 10-line loop. This eliminates the repetition but adds 1 indirect function call per action, negligible at game input frequency. The bigger gain is on adding new actions, requires only 1 line. Alternative, simpler, extract a helper that handles the unmarshal plus error plus call pattern and keeps the switch but removes the boilerplate. At line 321, player delta and stat deltas are allocated even when the world players is empty. The early return comes after the allocations flip the order. Check player count first, return if 0. This file handles... Am I mining? I just got to make sure that I'm mining at the same time. This file handles the ground item pickup, NPC dialogue, resource gathering, shop transactions, bank transactions. Each deserves its own file. Gather NPC. Okay. For inventory helpers and related helpers live here, but nothing worth to do with world topology, move to inventory. These are ON string comparisons replaced with map of string for pre-built at package init will become more important as node types grow. Persist cast payload without holding the world lock. This is correct only if the record was snapshotted before being enqueued. Confirm snapshot discipline is maintained in fire reset and checkpoint all. Client. The lumberjack slots array is hard-coded duplication of the ability data in player JSON. The server already sends player abilities and the client populates the ability slots from it. In SyncGo, the hard-coded array is an initialization seed and could become stale if the server config changes options. Remove the hard-coded array. Keep as fallback, but clearly mark as pre-server fallback and add a staleness check. I'm hoping that these are kind of outlined in the next document, so I'm not actually adding my notes to add to this, even though there are a couple of things. I'm just sort of checking what it highlighted versus what I highlighted. At line 659, much of the struct field declarations field related to role state, charge state, chain state, status effect, and ability mods are interleaved with the UI panel state and zone state. Consider grouping into embedded substructs or at minimum separating into named field group with blank line section. Headers already done partially. Render inconsistent draw panel interfaces. This is pure cosmetic fix, 0 performance impact, high readability gain. Yeah, that's kind of just the goal. It's just to maintain the current pattern so that there's not a blob of weirdness. We already have 5 logical sections separated by comments. Extract each to its own method. Becomes 10-line orchestrator. Each subfunction is independently testable. Sync network 400 is a 600 line switch. 40 cases which with 5 to 20 lines of logic cannot cleanly be a map. Each case touches different fields. Best fix, extract to its own handle delta method. Sync network becomes delta spawn delta move. Okay, I like that. Each method is about 10 lines, independently readable and testable. Take input lines. Left clicks through a priority channel, modify panel bank, close. Okay, so this is just this is that nasty if else Oh, the chain is correct, but deeply nested. Refactor to return to early return guards. Yeah, please do. Each guard is one line and nested. Depth drops from 5 to 1. The priority order is explicit from top to bottom. Oh, thank goodness. All martial struct to create a single helper. Reduce each send body in one line. Item sprite frame uses a 25 case switch on a string. String switches are ON replaced with package level. Okay, so this is what we were talking about before. Same issue here on this case statement. Not two in the switch. Performance improvement. 300 large function clearly separable section, stage, progress dots, countdown timer, progress bar, ideal path lines, user trace lines, waypoint markers, and timing HUD. Score flash, good miss feedback. Extract each to a helper method, same early return guard pattern for, okay, so that'll just help speed things up or flatten things out and just make it a little nicer to look at. Cross-cutting JSON hot path allocations in broadcast positions. JSON Marshal is called once per player tick. Each allocates byte for a server with many concurrent players. This adds GC pressure. Use the sync pool of bytes buffer to reuse encode buffers or switch position deltas to a more efficient binary encoding. Mutex discipline, mix of defer and explicit unlock. Some handlers use defer unlock safe on panic. Others call world unlock explicitly. Standardize all of the locks. Okay. So we now have this refactor document that we're going to have to go through. I love how if I scroll to the bottom, it's like, yeah, it's only 465 lines, but there's lines that are many lines. There was one example near the bottom, and I think there's a couple. No, maybe it is only 400 something lines for the most part, other than like here. Anyways, I digress. Let's go through this. Synthesized from 2 independent audits. Items are grouped by file, ordered by impact. Each entry notes sources A, your notes, B, Claude notes, and AB both. Critical distinction map versus switch on enum int B only. This was not in your notes, but affects several of your proposals. Compile switch on a dense int iota to a jump table. A map uses a hash, but is 3x slower for this. The map is not a performance improvement. The right solution is for integer enum string methods is an indexed array, not a map. A 1-0 allocation, 1 line per new type versus 2 in the current switch. This is strictly better than both the current switch and a map. For string keyed lookups, the situation is reversed. The switch on a string comparison, converting to a map is a genuine performance. Be sure to add commenting explaining this in each explaining why the optimal explaining the choice. Be sure to add a comment explaining the choice for implementation type. So then wire internal delta wire reduce. Okay, so this was in both. Reduce case switch statements. It should be simplified with the map. Map is not an optimization here. Indexed array is the right. What if I just notes? Be sure to propose change, replace switch with a version. Trade-off: the array approach requires that delta values are contiguous from 0, which they are, being an iota. If the type is ever removed mid-sequence, the array index shifts. The switch is more robust to gaps. The array is faster. Notes. Use the indexed array option. Performance is the priority. Be sure to add comments explaining why. Same as W1, but for actions. And then here, investigate if these case statements can be optimized with a map. The boilerplate repeats 18 times. The map handler to remove the switch, but is not faster. See intro. The real win is eliminating the repeated Marshall boilerplate. Option B is already used in sync keeps. Okay, so trade-off option A makes handler input use option B. Use the option B. Performance is a priority. Performance is always going to be the priority for this. Allocates before the empty guard check. The only mutex discipline, mix of defer and explosive unlock. Okay. Server interact. File split. That's fine. No issues there. You might be able to pre-optimize, reduce case statements, and compare. And at current scale, this is negligible, but as your number of nodes grow, the pre-built map is better. I'm just gonna add. I'm making sure to add the notes to all of these because I don't want it to ignore that and not have them there. Inventory helpers. Proposed split. Looking to breaking apart multiple files grouped by function. My additions, Lumberjack slots, hard-coded configs. Duplicate the data server already sent. They're initialized at seeds. Proposed fix. Additionally, trade-off 0 init means that the HUD shows. I will be right back. Okay. The cat's snack is fed. Normally gets a snack when I'm done work, but I had today off, so it's a bit of a weird day for the cat. Anyways, additionally hard-coded. Right, I was on the 0 init means the HUD shows empty slots until the first server message. That is already the case for the cooldowns and mana costs. Slot name types are only additive. The window is sub-second on a local connection. That's fine. Send. Error from net send silently swallowed by in the shared helper. Currently, callers already log send errors individually. If per action error context matters, keep explicit callers for the majority. Fire and forget sends, movement abilities, items, etc. The shared helper is appropriate. Okay, so render breaks down the method, breaks its own method per layer pattern. Yeah. So this is just a quick fix. Client. Yeah, this is subfunctions reference the same local variables that are currently computed. Once in here, either pass them as parameters or recompute inside. Recomputation of 2 int values and 1 time is negligible. Parameter passing is cleaner. Okay. This is just moving it apart across multiple sections again. Sync network. Again, this is a cleanup here. Forwarding new methods of client navigation between them requires grep or IDE support. Group related handlers into same file. Assembly line nested if else. So this is just some cleanup, with the trade-off being extracted methods still need access to MX and MY, a few local variables. Passing these as parameters is always going to be the solution for those. Pick input is the largest file. Address the massive number of nested if-else statements. 3 smaller files versus 1 larger file. That's fine. I have no issue with that. Client here. Current structure. Trade-off. Same shared state concern, zone bounds. These would need to enter methods on client or parameters. The collision functions are currently closures. Capturing local state, they'd need to be moved to client methods if extracted. This is a bigger refactor than C4 or C5. Recommendation: extract only the clearly stateless sections. Notes. Follow recommendation. I'm going to follow the recommendation on this because I don't want to be spending too much time on this refactor right now. Inventory string should be a map. So we're going to make sure that we add the comments explaining the reasoning. Shop by case statements, just move the implementation. And they keep drawing equipment panel on thin. Use option. A consistency is a priority. Then summary table. Added a couple of notes, most of which just specify which option of the recommend to follow. State the refactor plan with notes. A couple of notes in the refactor plan. So as always, while Claude is clodding, we just get to play the game a bit. Also, I'm out of coffee. There we go. That's what the depleted ore looks like. Which, let's see if I can get 2 on the screen at once. No, I can't. It's just not shiny. Gotta go pick some plants. Yeah, I really don't know what to do for my grass and stuff. Also, I just noticed I basically made the flowers on the herb go in kind of the same directions as what I did on the tree. I'm probably going to fill my entire inventory here with the herbs just so that I can quit planning. All right, so all 6 node annotations have been absorbed into their sections. The pattern throughout is now consistent where you confirmed a choice. The entry now reads decision instead of recommendation or multi-option debate, and the commenting required appears as part of the implementation guidance rather than a trailing note. Okay. Use the refactor plan to produce a full to-do list implementation plan, then complete the refactor. Man, it's so nice having all these documents that I can point to instead, because I don't just have to say, oh yeah, do all of, here's a paste of all of these things again. Rather, I can just say, hey, we already have all of these documents. Take a look at this and then go do this. It's like, your instructions are here. Read the instructions and go. I think that my mic is double picking up the music again, which seems to just be a single song issue. Oh, I picked all the plants here. Back to picking plants over here instead. How's my herbalism level going? I think that should be enough. Just convert an absolute ton. I don't need to actually use these healing salves, but there we go. Level 5. Now I can crush some ore and craft an MP potion. Look at that. All that works so that I could make a single MP potion. I might do some base sprites for some of the items as well soon. That might be fun. I would like to see items rather than just colored squares for everything. Even if I don't really like what they look like at the moment, or if I'm not super happy with them, it'll at least be a better starting spot than, hey, look, we've got a whole bunch of Whole bunch of squares everywhere. The reason I did start with the resources, though, is because for our next phase, I'm going to put the axe back on for the lumberjack. For our next phase, one of the big things is going to be rendering a bunch of stuff outside of the zone here. Everything outside the zone is pretty much going to have to be filled up with, like dense forest, basically, or depending on the zone, like rocks, etc. Pure ocean, I guess. So we need a way, or I didn't want to just have, hey, look, I put a whole bunch of squares on the outside, and now you can't go there because there's squares. I kind of want it to be, hey, look, the forest is too dense out there. You can't pass through that, as kind of like the excuse. And I would like to be able to actually see something out there as opposed to seeing nothing. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, because I don't think I'm gonna be defining them explicitly. I think it's gonna be sort of a generated position for all of them based off of a default seed and like the zone ID or the background type. I'm not sure. That's something we're going to be addressing in the next phase. It is fairly important to figure out. And it's something that I need to think through because I only have the idea and some potential options for it. Right, I can't drop like that. Actually, let's go sell the wolf fur instead. My major hope at the moment is that it's not going to be broken when the refactor gets done. As we do get more and more in for the game, these refactors are going to become less and less prominent, and they're going to be on smaller and smaller scopes because the changes will be more targeted to specific scopes as well, as opposed to being, hey, we're looking at everything. It'll be, hey, we're looking specifically at the movement. Hey, we're looking specifically at the boss combat or the items or this class or that class or these abilities. So we'll be able to keep much more scoped. Because right now the scope is sort of, hey, we have this thing, we need to put this on it as well, and then we need to make sure that we add that over there and this part down here, and then we have to build up this part here, and don't forget about this part and this part. And hey, look, now we have an armor. Oh, we just have to clean up some of the edges now, and oh, look, we have an armor plate. Because that's kind of the way that we're building this right now. So this part right now is that whole cleanup part where, hey, look, we have a plate armor. Is it the best plate armor? No. Is it a temporary drawing? Yes. Are we going to come back and improve it? Yeah. So that's kind of what we've been doing, and just as we get closer and closer to that final product, we'll be making smaller and smaller changes and more targeted, and we'll have to go through less. Oh, I can store some of my healing salves in here instead. One bag. Those 3 in there. Open shop. Hey, Jack, I need to see the shop. Hey, Jack, I want to see the shop. Thank you. Which is 4. Whoa, no, I don't want to sell those. Oh, I can't drag stuff around when I'm looking in the shop. That's a frustration. MP. Actually, let me grab another vial of water. Actually, let me grab a few more vials of water. There we go. We're all set up for combat against all the stuff that can't kill us. The only thing that's dangerous is the chupacabra. It's like 100 times more dangerous than the boss. It will literally one-shot us. I think we would have to get to like level 20 or something before we're not really getting one shot. Our buffs and everything are able to stand up to it. Hey, what's this song? This is good. Tidal wave. Trying to put it right at the... as loud as I can make it for me without it being picked up by my mic. I really do like this song. I think this is probably one of the best songs on here. Oh, let's go get some crystals and upgrade our weapons. Or our weapons? Our abilities. We can get super strong, and that might let us fight the chupacabras. I think that'll do. Yeah, the portal definitely isn't showing up in the right spot. Probably gonna have to address that, but... oh, we dropped it. Trying to make use of these mana potions to keep our streak going. Alright, so first thing we're going to upgrade is throw Hatchet. Yeah, it causes the mana cost to go way up, but it is the single strongest thing to buff. Ooh, look at that mana cost spike. That's why this is not game breaking. I think this is going to be a really, really fun mechanic. I'm very much looking forward to it. Oh, it got multiple projectiles now. Oh, it did. It's stronger. It's stronger. What did it get buffed? Projectile count orc boulder throw. Oh, wow. It did not get that buff this time. It did get a lot more HP though. Now let's modify pocket sand. I think that's the other strongest thing to upgrade. Ranged abilities with these pure force upgrades are kind of insane. Okay, respawned. It's a good thing these are 100% drop rate at the moment, because these would have to be very rare. They're probably going to be super nerfed, but super nerfed maybe like 1 in 10. Might be guaranteed when you're doing like an intro quest. Then it might be moved to 1 in 10. And they'll be maybe like 10% as strong. And this has gotten tanky. I don't want to be using my mana potions at the moment. So I'm kind of just gonna keep going. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Your ability's on cooldown? Your ability's on cooldown? There we go. Then buff. Maybe not chop. Actually, if I buff fortify, how does this do? Okay, if force is not causing that one to be upgraded. See, chop is just so mana efficient. I kind of want to put it on chop as well. I mean, my goal is to just get one for each of them. It doesn't really matter what order I put them on at the moment. No, it server reset me. Oh, my level. All right, we got 10 minutes to level back up and see where we can get. Oh, I'm out of mana. Help, I'm out of mana. Help, I'm out of mana. Nature's Fall is going to be the last thing we upgrade. Doesn't really make a difference, again. At least I'm going to have some mana potions for the next fight, which will be kind of cool. It's a shame that we got server reset when we were like level 5 or 6 or something like that, but it is what it is, so... I'm probably going to also readdress the damage formula, because I don't know if having the damage based off of pure force is necessarily a good thing. And I'm out of mana. I'm out on mana. Cooldowns are mainly. Anyways, we've got all of our abilities upgraded, so that means we can go pay El Chupacabras a visit. And we will hopefully not get one shot. Because if we do, we're losing all of this stuff. Do. How's it doing on the refactor? It's up to C2. More than halfway down. That's nice to see. Maybe we fight a shade on our way in as well. Just get a little bit more XP. There should be a couple of them over here. Yeah. All right, there we go. All right, I think we live a single hit from the Chupacabras now. The important thing is going to be that we are able to kill them fast enough that we can level up. If we can't do that, then we are screwed. Oh, there's so many. Oh, shoot. I messed up. There we go. We hit him for 150. $147. Chupacabra down. Chupacabra down. Level 7. I definitely think we're strong enough to survive a hit from one of them now. But... oh, look at that. Level 8. We are power leveling on this one. Level 9. Hit them both. Get them. Get them. Oh yeah, we're definitely strong. I'm pretty sure I can let one hit me now. Right? It's not even... oh! That hurt. Yeah, it did 200 damage to us. That's why I've been saying, like, these things are dangerous. Chase him down. Chase him down. He's trying to escape. Okay. Well, it's good to see you can actually fight the Chupacabras if you go and upgrade your gear. They're definitely still still very dangerous. No, I'm pretty happy with that. There's actually a point to the insane amount that the abilities get buffed. Even though our stats are scaling like nothing. I can't wait to actually go and readdress all of the scaling and stat incrementing, because we're gonna buff the shit out of everything. Everything's gonna get so strong. Let us out. Oh wait, no, we're already in the boss area. Alright, I want to go try fighting the boss now. So, we're gonna do... look at that. That was a 5-second fight. Now we've got everything upgraded. There's no point upgrading Fortify. I'd rather go sell that. So we got HP buff 743, target offset, projectile count. Kinda wish I could see how much damage that one did. Also, I gotta make it so you can't pick stuff up when your inventory's full. That's another thing. Dude. Oh, it might be done the refactor. That'll be cool. Clean build C2 is done. Moving on to S4. Oh, it's still going. It's still going. Over my storage, I want to store these herbs. Let's store some of these, and I'll make a few more. So I'm at 700 gold. 1,200 gold. I'm rich. Anyways, let's buy some water vials. We'll add a little bit of them to our bank as well. I think these are worth like 10. 1143 and 63. They're 20. 83 to 98. That's 15. I definitely need a way to find out what the sell prices of stuff are. 1198 to 12. That's 4. That'll be a good thing to add for the future. So maybe I'll add that to some notes. Way to see what's stored. And there goes our level again. But everything else is still upgraded, which is cool. So the 10-minute timer on that reset is just a temporary thing. It's for testing so that I can make sure that all the mechanics are actually working properly. It means that we actually get a very succinct gameplay loop, and that everything is kind of scaled way faster than it necessarily has to be. We don't lose our skill levels though, so those actually do grow at a rate that I'm not disappointed with. So this, I couldn't make the tree look any good. I really couldn't. I also, every time I'm looking at it, wish I had like a scroll wheel to zoom in. I think I should have shaped it. I kind of just wanted it to look like a large version of the herb, because I did the herb first, and I was kind of happy with it, and then I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, and I was like, let's make the tree look sort of like that, and I kind of scaled it up and went, eh. So we've kind of ended up just where we are at the moment. We need a way to add or to get more of something out of our bank rather than just all or one. But I should also be able to move these around. There we go. And I think I can just put them in any location that I want to. Yep, that works. That all works as I expect it to. Why did it walk me all the way around there? That was weird. That was real weird. Not even 6 yet. Okay, that's why. Yeah, we want the changes. We want the changes. We want all the changes. What do you got for me? Trying to find all my different things that I have open. Way too many windows. Where? There we go. This is not for stream. It's just I gotta check some stuff. I gotta check to make sure things are working the way that I need them to elsewhere. Hey, it would spawn as I'm walking away. Wonder how much longer it's going to be for this refactor. I knew it was going to be a large task, but I haven't seen another to-do list progress since this one. And it did say C2 was done and that it was working on S4 a while back. So if I interpolate from there what it's actually at, it's probably moving on to the C6 through. Anyways, it's probably going on to these. Unless, did it say it was going on to S3 or S4? Hey, look, done S6, moving on to C6. Where was that even in the to-do list? Okay, so it's about here. Okay. It's thinking, it's going, it's following the plan we set. We get to just play the game in the meantime. I can just crush all the ore. I don't know why I'm holding regular ore. So Refinery definitely trains way faster than some of the other skills. Witchcraft is quite slow as well. Herbalism trains at a decent rate. Woodcutting I know is a decent rate, but there's not really anything to do with the logs at the moment yet. I know the two skills that are going to train the slowest is going to end up being Bravery and Piety, just from how those skills are actually interacted with. since those are going to require you to interact with more end game mechanics. Well, it's going to require you to interact with the living world process. You're either going to need to fight the bosses on hard mode to continue to help push the world, or you're going to need to clear overflow zones, both of which are going to have much more difficult requirements for, at least for some things. I guess it will depend which zone you go to, but like early zones are not really going to be entering overflow as often, so they basically should be difficult skills to train. Hey cat, you wanna come up here? You wanna come say hi? You wanna come say hi? You wanna come say hi? Come on up. Come on up. Trying to get the cat to jump up and say hi. I don't think the cat's having it. Dude, there's nothing to do with the logs. I might as well just drop them. Do I still gain witchcraft XP? I do. Okay. Do. Yeah, the cat's totally getting picked up on my mic as well. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on, I know you're not so lazy that you can't jump up here. Nope. No cat. There is one fairly large thing that's going to happen after this refactor, as well as we're going to have to go back and update a lot of the architecture diagrams and documents. Just make sure that things align with those too. Really what the logs are good for at the moment is just getting some early cash. You know, I don't know if this is just me or what, but really it doesn't look too bad when I'm looking over at my Streamlabs and I see it kind of minimized and the color gradient slightly changed. Or maybe it's just because I don't have the white border at the top, that like the default window screen, and it looks a bit more implemented over there. Oh, who knows? Yeah, definitely need to make it so that I can right-click higher parts of the nodes. See, there's this slight, like, arc on each of these. I thought I managed to get rid of that, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, these whole big areas where there's literally nothing else on the screen, they need to be addressed. Those aren't going to be very good to have later on. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I was trying to bank some of these. There we go. Kind of surprised I haven't actually hit a limit on this yet. I wouldn't be surprised if I see one pop up. Oh, excuse me, pop up soon where it's like, you're 90% of the way through your 5-hour limit or whatever it's called. Come on up. Come on up. Can't get the cat to show up. Oh, I just noticed the sprite's a little less rounded. That's fine. I should probably have also rounded these corners as well, but doesn't matter. It's placeholder sprite. We're not really doing too much more for now. We kind of front-loaded a lot of the stuff, and then... Not your food time yet. You get fed in like 20 minutes. Oh wow, it's taken a while. I don't know what was up with that movement there. That was a bit jarring. So we're kind of at that spot where I don't really know what I can be doing in addition at this time, because I've tested out pretty much all of the stuff that I wanted to test out. I've done most of the early stuff. I'm running around just kind of collecting and training stuff. I haven't really fully implemented stuff. I don't need to make other changes while this is being refactored. That could go very poorly, but I'm kind of just stuck in this spot where I need to wait for Claude to finish the refactor, because anything that I change could break the implementation and the fixes. And because this is very broad scoped at the moment, I don't have the benefit of being like, hey, I know it's not going to touch these files. Well, I technically do know which files it's going to touch, but I don't have implementations that I need to do in the other ones. I already did a lot of the planning for what we're doing for the next phase. Yeah, I could be looking through the architecture documents. I just don't know what to do currently. I could work on some of the sprites, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel like drawing them at the moment. But I guess it's better than nothing. Are these really the ground items that show, or is it sprites? Also, it's not even... Oh, right, because I didn't actually open them up in Paint. I just opened them up. So let's see if I can't drop any of these things. Well, it's definitely not the ground items that show, so it's definitely the regular items. So if I open this with Paint, it does get picked up. Well, really what I should be doing is then it's a very small sprite location to actually have. So if I just copy and paste it down here, then I grab that. There we go. Now we can sandwich these together. And we have a coin. Which we can add multiple yeah, this stack is not going very well. Three, 4, and then no. Anyways, we're probably better off using just the... Oh, that's the wrong one again. Why is it not giving me the correct one? Oh, I've done that again. I don't have any money symbol to use yet. What about just a C? We'll leave them unstamped for now. There we go, we have a stack of coins. Vial of water. You'll notice I very much have just been using the like geometry. For each of these things. It's gonna be a fairly unappealing vial of water. One, two, three, one. There we go. That should give us a nice curve. Let me copy this, move it. There we go. That vial of water looks terrible. The worst part is with doing these near each other is I can't even use the eraser tool because it's too large and ends up overshooting and hitting the other. There we go. That's much more vial of water. Anyways, they won't even update anyways because I would have to shut the server off and start it. But I don't want to draw other things at the moment. Well, I guess I could have done the mana potion as well. So let me reopen that. Because there's no real point in doing the open with paint. Alright, so for this, it's basically going to be... So I actually... There we go. Copy, paste it, then we can... Oh shoot, how far? I did not think this one out. I did not think this one out. Okay, we're gonna put it right below it because we know that it's gonna come up to the same height, which is just 1 pixel above. So then what we're going to do is we're going to delete everything except for 1 pixel width. And then move it up so that it's on that pixel 1 before we delete the other pixels. And then we actually need this as the secondary. This is the primary. There we go. Mana potion. Voila. Good enough. Like I said, these are all very, very simple placeholders that I'm just throwing in there so that it looks like something. That was the first thing I've done with the triangle as well. I've been using just circle and rectangle for everything. Hey, where'd my, there we go. My laser pointer vanished on me. Off and pick up. There we go. Now I can convert all of these into ground herbs. I don't think there's really a point to me keeping ground herbs. Accidentally replaced time fields. Oh no. Anyways. Do 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 do. Bank. Put them away. 3, 3, 3. Let's go sell the ore. Sell the ore? I meant sell the logs. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, I kind of just want to kick back and relax. Maybe take a nice little nap. Though what I should do is go and feed the cat. So I think that's what I will. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, shoot, I just closed my game. Help, I can't see anything. Well, there goes all that progress. All of those levels gone. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna go feed the cat and be right back, so... And I was muted. Oh my god. I was playing around with the light there, and I completely forgot to unmute as well. Holy. Okay, so this was a huge refactor. This was huge, absolutely massive. This is the biggest refactor we have done for the game. We touched a total of 19 different items. We have to restart the game and hope that everything is working the same as it was before. So this is where I either get to blame the AI for breaking everything or be more impressed at the AI again. So those are the only two situations. So I'm going to shut the server off, shut the client down, turn the server back on, turn the client back on. Now I have to wait for you to see this. Things are working currently. We're going to run through. We're going to do a little quick loop around everywhere, double check things. So if we shop with Jack, hey, look, we've got our water now. I assume we can still gather. Gathering still seems to work. Doesn't look like we've had any major collision issues get raised during this change, which is good to see. We can't walk back out of bounds. That's good to see that that bug is still gone. Yeah, we haven't even been using like the roll or anything. All right, we got some gold. Man, why does the edges on it look so jagged? Anyways, that's unimportant. We've got a gold sprite. Or some coins sprite. It looks like it's working now, which I'm not seeing any immediate concerns. We can still craft, make sure that XP, we're gaining XP there, we're gaining XP down here. We'll go fight the boss, we'll level up, and then that'll probably be it for today. That's the massive refactor done. Lots of things should be quite optimized now. I could go through on stream and we look at all the changes that were made, but I have to go get food, honestly. I'm very hungry. I started the stream a little earlier today because I was anyways, I started the stream a bit earlier today anyways, so this has actually been a longer stream than usual. We can actually heal. I think we're rocking close to 3 hours now. We got our item. We can modify Nature's Fall. Nice. All right, we have everything working. That is the current state of Hatchet. We have refactored, which means we didn't really add anything today, but like it was still a very important, very, very important day. We finalized phase 3. So phase 3 is now officially complete. We've refactored to bring the code back up to sort of a cleaner state than it was in before. And going forward, we're going to make sure that we update our architecture again, our architecture document, so that everything's sort of described as we need it to be. Then we are going to go through our plans for phase 4, set everything up plan-wise for that, and then get started. I don't know if we'll actually start implementing phase 4 tomorrow, but tomorrow will at the very least be producing the initial phase 4 plan and everything that we plan to cover. So thank you everyone for stopping by. If anyone's been lurking and you want to see how the game continues to progress, feel free to drop a follow. I will be working on this nearly every day, so this is going to be a very long-term project as well. So thank you again for stopping